We have to be done making the judgments. You're not able to bring in the yin energy if we're constantly using the judgment as the key to creating synergy. So when we do want to speak, we're muted. We're unable to communicate because it's got its full attention, and we have to pay attention to the train because it's our sensory system. This is what we're told that we have to do. And train represents conformity. Says you may be just going along with what everybody else is doing. Can be very methodical. Yes. You need to lay things out specifically and do things in orderly and sequential manner. Interesting. Okay, so this is about changing out that old paradigm, and that is what I was addressing last night, was changing out the old paradigm. And we're learning to have our own voice. Now here's the biggest difference in this relationship that we're having in this now coming up. It's not about speaking up your truth about how angry you are, how you're taking offense to things. That's not the truth that they're referring to. When you find out that you've taken offense to something, then speak to yourself, understand your inner world, and if it is draining you that you're angry all the time, tap out anger. If you feel like you have to take offense and somebody's made you mad, tap that out. If you feel like you're bullied, tap that out. Because when you start tapping out with a tool those judgments, those old paradigms, those old belief systems, then your spiritual self will naturally, effortlessly, will just speak up. And what's it going to speak up and say? Your joy, your happiness. Finally creating boundaries so that you can say, I do not have to do that. And you're creating a backbone that will allow you to stand up without having to the old paradigm of fighting, because fighting is that yang energy. Now, yin simply wants us to do what? Look forward. Look forward and be who we need to be. Now, the angels just gave a tell sign to Jen. So what do you need to do next, my dear? Tell me.
Well, I had pulled cards.
Okay.
And the first one was avoid allergens. And then the next one was prioritize. Focus on your higher priorities. And it's sensitivity, that you're really sensitive to energies right now, and that perhaps goes to the allergen.
Well, the allergen is very much simply this: we can't take anymore. We're done. We have learned to take it, and we've grown, and we have been finished with particular lessons for so long that we haven't preserved the learnings and then just healed. All we do is to keep taking it, hit after hit, to the point where your body starts attacking itself and seeing everything as the enemy. Literally, you need to heal that you see everything as the enemy. Everything's a scam. Everybody's trying to hurt you. Everybody's got their own agenda. Because once you heal that inner world, you're going to start creating friends that are going to come in that are like-minded, that are not sitting there going, oh my God, everybody else's agenda's first and I need to fight to make sure I'm heard. That's not it anymore. You literally will allow yourself to stop accepting certain disappointments. Even though the card says accept disappointments gracefully, you don't have to. Because the disappointments, if you use a tool to heal them out, then you won't have to just sit there and live and learn. The old way was just live and learn. Oh, I got cancer. Yeah, I lived and learned that that's just how it is. No, we don't have to do that anymore.
And if you're not tied to your expectations, you're not going to be disappointed.
Exactly, because you're going to totally heal what caused you to be tied in the first place. So that's awesome. So, she speaks, people. Yes, she speaks. Oh, I need to get back to my screen.
I'm not hiding.
No, she's not hiding anymore. That's good. Yeah. Because I knew I was supposed to do the show today. I wasn't sure with who or whom, I should say.
Well, I thought I was gone to Walmart, but I guess not.
Ah, you're supposed to be here. So, Missy, now as far as working in tandem or in cooperation or in sync with one another, what do you feel should be the next topic? What do you feel, what you've seen, how today's events have been for you? What has been the theme of what you've seen?
I actually had a very quiet, repetitive day.
Okay, so it's repetitive. So can we be our content and be, when we do our repetitive things? Okay, so when that happens, that it's not just learning to feel the contentment and living with it. This is where you can start asking. And are we able to ask though?
Well, it was different people, same subject matter that we were going over.
Ah, so it says it's time to address the addiction, what's causing the repetitiveness.
Okay.
So there are specific things that creates this addiction. So certain things. What are you guys referring to? Oh, are you constantly correcting your mistakes? Or their mistakes?
Redirection is actually part of the job.
Okay. Now, even though...
It's not so much that you're, like, getting on them or whatever. It's that... Okay, as a math teacher today. So, have certain formulas to accomplish certain information.
I'm so glad you said that. Certain codes do play themselves out, but you still do in your daily life, even though you're being the teacher today, and you are showing different codes do have certain formulas and that there is a way to do it. You're done making this. They're not even talking about school today. They're talking about something you're doing in your life where you're constantly having to correct it so that they will follow the code. Now here's an interesting part. Is it your code, their code? Because with math seems to be universal everywhere and there is only one code. But if you're dealing with other people's lives, is there their code and then your code? Even though you are going to be moving forward, do you need to be the one that have to correct themselves? Now, there's a difference between healing yourself and correcting yourself.
Right.
Do you feel that something's repeating itself and you've gone and you've healed inside, but yet are you, oh, that's the key. Are you correcting yourself? How do I put this? In day-to-day living, there's a habit you don't want to do, so you're catching yourself. That's one way to correct it. Or are you correcting it by old habit? Old habit of complaining, old habit of being mad at yourself, old habit of, oh, I see it, hold on, I see it. Okay, the energy coming off you is these purples, so that's a certain thought pattern that happens. So how is that situation? I can't believe you're doing this live. The situation with you is, are you correcting others with your thinking pattern, with criticisms? Have you not been correcting yourself with that?
Not as much as I used to, by far.
Okay,
but
so
I still do catch myself once in a while, kind of like, why did you do that?
Here's the question. When they do that and you would not deem it as acceptable or that you wouldn't do it, and you're about to say, well, I'd never do that. The point is that are you healing it or are you sacrificing certain parts of your life? Because remember, if you don't heal the cause, then you actually have to rip out some of your core. When you're doing your healing, we don't want you to rip out your core at all. We want you to upgrade. So your authenticity of who you are is what? Okay, so let's look at this. The pattern of you do it this way, somebody else does it that way. It's not that you necessarily say that you judge that. It's just that you know you wouldn't do that. Okay?
Yeah, sometimes.
Alright, so now if that's the case, where is it that you had to cut up your life so that other people will say, so if your mother was standing here saying, oh, I wouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do that, and you, even though you plunged forward and did it anyway, have you sneakily to yourself cut out parts of yourself because Mama was right maybe just this much?
That's a possibility. I've been trying to pull those parts back.
Yeah.
So that's...
Work with devotion. So, that's interesting. Work with devotion. What the hell does that even mean? I mean, I have an idea, but we need to find what
it means to me is I need to stay focused on what we were just talking about, on healing my core.
Says
and not let it slide by.
The question is, are you struggling with how to be spiritual at the same time that you have to deal with the demands of the day-to-day living?
Yeah, I've lost the zen of laundry.
The zen of laundry.
That's what I used to call it when I had little kids and the clothesline was up the hill, and I'd wash the clothes and drag them up the hill along with the little kids, and we'd just have like a zen moment in the yard, and it would be the zen of laundry.
Interesting. It says, do you vacillate between being overly concerned with material matters and wanting to, wanting to escape from the physical world in pursuit of a spiritual life? You just want to say, I don't want this physical world. Let me just go do this over here. Says
well, yeah, until the house gets so dirty I can't stand it, I guess.
If so, then guess what? You're at a critical point where it's time to give up the myth that being spiritual implies renouncing the physical world. It doesn't. Alright, so being connected to your inner self means embracing, enjoying, and being responsibly grounded in the physical day-to-day world. Now, your soul's purpose right now is to be in the world but not of it. That would make sense. To be in the world but not of it. So I'm having her pick a card specifically. Speak up. Now, speak up doesn't mean that the people that are doing it different, that you're going to say, oh, I do that differently.
Yeah.
What are they telling you to speak up to? Yourself.
Right.
When you sit there and you start cutting yourself out a little bit thinking, oh, I got to do it this way. But see, she's not even telling herself that. Secretly, she's having this conversation behind her own back.
I've been told I'm sneaky like that.
I thought she'd been busting out myself.
And we have another medicine
In
woman
certain
here
ways.
today. And Paula, just say hi.
Hi.
So we're talking about Medicine Reveal. We've got 4 of them here because Jen's on the phone in California.
Oh, okay.
So what's interesting is that I'm supposed to draw another card. I'm just not sure because I feel all this nervous energy. And it just could be you guys. But that's interesting. There goes my voice again. Oh, so it says time to decide, but it's upside down. Who is that for? Is that for somebody in this room? Paula. Okay. Alright, so you're not sure if it's time to decide.
I thought I'd been making all sorts of decisions lately.
Now, granted, we know when we see ourselves working really hard and then the universe says, well, you're not working hard enough, or you're just like, say, what? Okay, so the question then remains, well, where are you supposed to look? If you're not supposed to be staring at what's going on in front of you, were you still there, Jen?
Yeah, I was going to say, it goes back to that, look, busy Jesus is coming thing, and I'm reminded of the Christmas vacation line of the washing machines work really hard.
Yeah, washing machines even work really hard. You said the first reverence was that look busy because Jesus is coming. So what happens is that if you show yourself that you're busy, then what is it that you need to do that you're not looking at? So I always ask the universe, so what do I need to do right now so I can make the decision that's necessary? And it says use your mediumship. Mm-hmm. What else is she supposed to do? This is cards. What else does Paula need to do so that she can focus on what she needs to? Right now, what does she need? Ooh. Moonlight. Oh, good Lord, I do not know.
Oh, that's interesting because there's the meaning of the moonlight card. So moonlighting is also having a second job or something like that.
That is true. Your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, and analytical. Follow it. So the moonlight beckons you. Come and trust your intuition to lead you into places that may not seem logical. Your hunches will be right on target. Resist second guessing yourself, for the alternative perception is especially sharp right now. Now, so what is that stance, Missy?
What is the stance?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just comfortable.
There's a chair if you just want to pull it around, babe. Well, regardless, sometimes when we do certain things and act a certain way, we don't want to be called out on it.
Called out on it?
Yeah, but I feel like something else is calling out. Sorry. Just handed a deck to Terry because she's supposed to do something.
I figured it was time for me to book my date for teach my class.
Risk.
Okay, so you're not taking certain risks. The question is why. Oh, I got 2 decks of cards here. Oh no, there we go. Oh, these cards. Okay, here, take it. You grab what you want. What risk do you need to take? Be wide open. Doesn't mean you have to take the hits that come with it, but being open to what it is that Spirit wants you to do. Ooh. What do we have? Was that meant to be upside down? Or was it meant to be upright?
I did turn it as I was pulling it. I don't know, they're all...
Yeah, because they're all supposed to be crooked. So, you don't have restrictions anymore. So even though you may think that there's restrictions, don't live your life for them anymore. So, Paula needs to live her life for herself, and what is the direction? Oh, what is it? Look forward and start creating.
I was just looking at the scroll work on this.
So if you look forward and start creating, and then work with devotion, that's what Terry just said. So how much time are you guys spending on what you need to do? You're supposed to be moving forward to stop hiding, right? That's the clue they give you. All right. So how much work are you putting through towards that every day?
Pretty much just as it comes up.
As it comes up.
Yes, where I would normally keep my mouth shut, I'm actually saying things.
Okay,
I
so is that what she means?
To find out if her yogurt was good the other day at school.
Okay, what about this? They're saying that's good, but they want you to do something different. How else can you not hide? What loudness can you do? Like, for instance, well, like what I'm doing here. I'm doing radio show. I'm just being where I'm guided to do, put my pictures up. I'm guided to go in certain directions. And every day it doesn't make logical sense sometimes, but I just do it anyway.
Guess I better start putting that book together.
Okay, is that the clues that they're giving you?
I think so.
Okay, so we got a caller. So what we're going to do is that we have a lot of medicine women. Whoever's supposed to jump in will jump in, correct? So if you feel like you need to grab a deck of cards, you'll do so. I will trust the universe to do what it needs to do. Okay? All right, so hello, caller, area code 201. Are you there? Hello? Oh, boy. I can almost hear you. It's crackling up. Shoot. Oh, I can hear you. I only heard you a little bit. Say hello again. Oh, man, it's breaking up too much. Are you in the chat room at all? Oh, I can hear you much better. Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. I'm actually calling for a reading.
You got it. You want a specific one or just a general?
No, actually specific about like Peter and I.
You said Peter and you? Relationships?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we have. And we'll find out what direction that they want to talk to you about. So have you had any heart-to-heart conversations lately?